Hello, everybody, and welcome to Premier League score predictions. We are back for another season with Mikey, and this season we are not alone. We are simulcasting this, not just down the Benjamin Bloom football channel, but we are also down the Blue Monday football channel because, Mikey, we get to talk about Ipswich Town this season. Welcome.
Cheers, Ben. Yeah, this is the most excited I've been about a Premier League season in it must be about 22 years. Yeah, finally getting to combine the Ipswich Town stuff with the Premier League once again is really exciting. And yeah, looking forward to failing miserably with these predictions, especially that Ipswich being in there isn't going to help me at all because I'm usually going to predict them to win. And yeah, that probably isn't going to be the case more often than not.
Not a good idea. Right, get involved in the comments. If you're not familiar with the scoring, give yourself a point if you get the correct outcome. That's home, away, or draw. Give yourself a big slap on the back from me and 3 points if you get the scoreline correct. It's not as easy as it looks. And if your scoreline contains 5 or more goals, give yourself a bonus point. You can have 4 points for that. And we are straight in, Mikey. Friday night, Manchester United versus Fulham.
Yeah, this is the curtain raiser, isn't it? A little bit of a surprise when we saw that one come up, where the fixtures came out that Man United Fulham kicks off the season. But here we are. It's been a reasonable window for Manchester United after a poor season, it has to be said, last year. The focus in the transfer market has been on younger players. They brought in Lenny Yoro and Joshua Zirkzee, and De Ligt looks like he's coming in as well. So some good signings there. But Højlund, well, the problems a lot of the time last season, Ben, it felt like we talked about this a lot, were them not having a centre forward, or Højlund was settling in to begin with, and then he settled in and got injured. And below and behold, he's injured again. So they're going to start the season possibly with Bruno Fernandes playing as a false nine, or it might be that they go with Marcus Rashford down the middle and Garnacho down one of the wings. At Fulham, it's been a bit of a changing of the guard. Paulinho, Adarabioyo and Decordova-Reid have all left. Tim Ream has gone as well. So a lot of experience has left that Fulham dressing room. They brought in Emil Smith-Rowe as their big money signing. Again, that could be a really good signing, but he could suffer with injuries again, like he has done a lot with Arsenal. They've also brought Ryan Sessegnon back. I'm sure that one raised a smile for you, Ben. You enjoyed watching him playing for Fulham.
I loved watching him.
Back in that promotion season a few years ago. This is a tough first game for them, and I expect Manchester United's attackers down the wings to cause them some problems. I'm going for a pretty routine opening night 2-0 win for Manchester United.
Yeah, I was thinking similar, to be honest. I think Fulham might have won there last season. I can't quite remember. But yeah, I just think with everything on it being the curtain raiser, I am going to back Manchester United. I don't know. I mean, maybe they'll just kind of scuzz their way through it and sneak a 1-0 or something. Are they worth a clean sheet? No, they're not worth a clean sheet, are they? Okay, let's go for Man United by 1, but a Fulham goal. So I will go 2-1 Manchester United. And here we are for the first time. Ipswich Town versus Liverpool. Head over heart stuff, and we're going to spend the whole season trying to overcorrect our bias and not buy into it. Mikey, I cannot in good conscience predict Ipswich to beat Liverpool. I'm sorry, I can't do it. So I'm going to go for a defeat, but I'm going to go for Ipswich to score and do it proud. Maybe they'll go 3-1 down and get a goal back. So I also want a bonus point for this one straight out if I'm predicting an Ipswich defeat. Ipswich 2, Liverpool 3. Mikey, what do you reckon?
Okay, it's a good job I'm here then, Ben, because I am going to predict Ipswich to win.
Of course you are.
It hasn't been the ideal pre-season for us in many respects. George Hurst has picked up another injury. And we've got this transfer saga going on with Sammy Smodics at Blackburn. So we're a little bit light in a couple of positions, but we have strengthened the winning team from the end of last season. I think there's a chance that we might mix up the formation, play 3 at the back for this game. I think we definitely will against Manchester City the following week. And I think Leif Davis can cause Trent Alexander-Arnold some problems in our left channel. Liverpool have had a really quiet summer transfer-wise, but they've got Salah, Jota and Luis Diaz fit that front 3. When was the last time we faced a front 3 of that quality, Ben? It's been a long time. Can Slot get the best out of them? I think they've been pretty pleased with their pre-season. And the last 2 games for Ipswich in the league against Liverpool leaves an aggregate score of 11-0 to Liverpool. But as I mentioned, as it's the first one, I'm going to go for Ipswich to win. And I truly believe this could happen. I'm going for Ipswich 2, Liverpool 1.
Sensational. And you're straight up, Arsenal Wolves.
Arsenal Wolves, Arsenal agonisingly close last summer. They've been pretty quiet in this transfer window as well, because I guess they're happy with the players that they got. They brought in some strong players last season. And the days of them losing their most exciting players seems to be behind them. Wolves, a more serene summer than the last one. Obviously, Gary O'Neill took over really late in the summer window last year. But they've lost 2 of their best players in Max Kilman and Pedro Neto. So they've brought in a lot of money. They've only signed 1 Portuguese player this window. I think Wolves are going to be okay this season, but I think Arsenal are going to carry on the momentum that they had at the end of last and win this one 3-1.
Yeah. I'm raising hell with Wolves fans because I just manufactured them into the relegation zone in my 1-20 predictions to try and get Ipswich out of it. So the Wolves fans aren't very happy with me. They're going to be less happy with me again because, I've got Arsenal comfortably and I don't think I have Wolves to score either, Mikey. So, Beans, you've taken the 3. I'll go for the 2. Arsenal 2, Wolves 0. Everton Brighton is me up first. I'm real fascinated to see this 31-year-old Brighton manager play no midfield and 7 up front. Unfortunately, he's got to put up with Sean effing Dyche in the first game, and he's not going to win, Mikey. And I don't think he's going to score either. So let's go for a nice, straightforward Dyche ball. Rude awakening for Brighton. Everton 1, Brighton 0.
That's exactly what I've gone for as well, Ben.
Change it.
Okay, I will go for Everton 2, Brighton 0 then in that case, if we're not allowed to go for the same result.
No doubles this season, Mikey. Not having it.
They're going to be hard to judge, these two, aren't they? And Everton have made a couple of decent signings, but it's going to be difficult to predict these two. I hadn't realised that Brighton had sold Pascal Gross. He's been there forever, hasn't he? And Adam Lallana's gone. So talk about another team that's lost a lot of experience in that dressing room and also in the dugout.
So 2-0 you forced it. By the way, informal rule that's actually getting more and more formal as we go. No doubling up, all in good spirits. Newcastle, Southampton, Mikey. Long trip for the Southampton fans.
Yeah, hell of a trip. Newcastle, they've had to sell players this window, but I think they'll still be pretty ambitious. Eddie Howe has decided to stick around. I'm sure he probably could have taken the England job if he wanted to, but he's wanted to stick around. I think it's going to be interesting this season to see if they've got these 2 exciting flying fullbacks, Livramento and Lewis Hall. Are they going to play them both at the same time? Or will they stick with the experience of Kieran Trippier at right back? It'll be interesting to see that. Callum Wilson is injured again. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on Alexander Isak to provide the goals, although obviously Anthony Gordon, he played as sort of a central striker or a false 9 at times last season and did very well. As for Southampton, they've brought back Harwood Bellis and Downs. They've brought in some experience in Adam Lallana and Charlie Taylor. And Ben Brereton Diaz has come in to replace Che Adams. So a reasonable window for them, but I think Southampton are going to find it tough because they're not the most adaptable in terms of playing style. They're going to play their own way, and at times that's going to be difficult, and I expect this one to be tough for them. I'm going for Newcastle 3, Southampton 1.
Yeah, agree with everything you've said. I think if Southampton are going to have good periods, they're not going to be in August. Not going to be in away games at Newcastle. So I could even do a silly one here. Should I do a silly one? Why the hell not? I'm going to add a goal onto Newcastle from you. And I'm going for another bonus point here. I'm all in today, Mikey. Newcastle 4, Southampton 1. Love you, Russell Martin. Apologies to all the Saints fans. And I hope you don't lose 4-1, of course. Nottingham Forest versus Bournemouth. Now, Bournemouth continually stitched me up last year, every week, last year. Easy for me to say. So I'm not going to predict them to lose. But I don't think there's much in this. And I think it's a low scorer. And I haven't played a 1-1 yet. So I'm going to do it right here. Nuno and Iraola. Forest 1, Bournemouth 1.
Okay, I'm not going to go into detail this time about transfers and things like that. I'm just going to give you a little bit of recent history, Ben. Bournemouth haven't lost at the City Ground since the season they got promoted from the Championship in 2015.
Didn't they have that mad comeback as well?
Yeah, I think so. Bournemouth, the last 2 visits, so the 2 visits in the Premier League have both finished Bournemouth 3, Nottingham Forest 2, and in at least one of them they've come back from 2-0 down, I think. So just for fun, and I'll take a bonus point here, I'm going to say that they're going to do it again. I'm going for Nottingham Forest 2, Bournemouth 3.
That's a tremendous prediction. I do like that. And yeah, again, any tears in the comments. We love you, Forest, and we don't want you to lose your home games.
Blue Monday is proudly brought to you in partnership with our friends at Atwell Solicitors, your ideal legal partner for work on property or business law. Their client care has repeatedly been recognised as outstanding, and they are people-focused with a plain English approach which sets them apart. They have offices in Ipswich, Colchester and London, and to find out more, head to atwells.com.
West Ham versus Aston Villa, a claret battle.
A claret battle indeed, yeah. A new era for West Ham under Julian Lopetegui. Maybe not the most exciting appointment, but they've made some exciting signings. Nicholas Füllkrug joining at centre forwards with Bowen, Kudus and Paquetá. He's still there. That's a really exciting attacking lineup, and they've bolstered the defence as well. Villa Champions League team now, aren't they? So they've brought in Onana, Maatsen and Philogene. They've strengthened the squad, but they have lost Douglas Luiz, and I think he's going to be a huge miss for them in midfield. He's sort of one of those players that maybe sometimes goes a little bit under the radar. He didn't for Villa fans. I think it's going to be tough for them. I'm not going to predict them to lose, though, at West Ham. I'm going for a score draw here. West Ham 1, Villa 1.
Yeah, Villa were my wild card last season, Mikey. Maybe that tactic's not going to work this season because, yeah, the expectations are a little bit higher, but they have signed well. So I'm going to continue my Aston Villa loving and my tactic of predicting to win every single week, unless they're playing Man City or Liverpool or Arsenal. They beat Arsenal as well, didn't they? Let's go for a Villa win on opening day. Both teams to score. Can I justify a 2-1? I think I can. West Ham 1, Aston Villa 2. Brentford v Crystal Palace. I'm going with the Ron Nodes, Herman Hreiderson derby there. And how on earth can I call this? So, Palace were really good at the end of last season, weren't they? But they now don't have Michael Elise, do they? Yeah. Brentford, I think, are going to be better than they were last season, which isn't great news if you're an Ipswich fan. I'll go down the middle. No one's had a Desmond. So when I'm not sure, and I think it's going to be fun, the Desmond's going in. Brentford 2, Palace 2.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about Brentford, Ben. I feel like they're coming to the end of a cycle, and Ivan Toney still being there does add a little bit of confusion there because he's maybe someone that they expected to sell earlier on in the window. He's still there. They've brought in a new centre forward in Igor Thiago.
He's injured though, right?
Well, yeah, and that was a big problem for Brentford up top last season as well, wasn't it? It was a lot of the time Brian Mbeumo wasn't fit when Ivan Toney was missing. Yeah, I think it's going to be difficult for them this season. Palace was simply awesome under Oliver Glasner, but As you said, they've sold Michael Elise. Mark Gay might also be sold. He might even be sold by this weekend. And John Philippe Mateta, wow, like he tucked his shirt in about February and just never stopped scoring goals. Looked like a completely different player. Carried it on at the Olympics as well. I know Olympics football's a little bit strange, but he really looked the business there. I'm not sure he's going to be ready to start because he was absolutely dead on his feet at the end of that gold medal match. But I'm going to go with Palace to carry on that momentum and kickstart the season with a 2-1 win at Brentford.
And our super mega marketed hyper ultra Sunday, use whatever superlative you want. Actually, it's a really good one, isn't it? Chelsea versus Man City, Mikey. Here we go. And for all the people who complain in the comments that we essentially predict Man City to get 120 points is that even possible in a 38 game season? It's fairly easy to do. Carry on, Mikey.
Yeah, and Chelsea are just so hard to call, aren't they? New coach, even more new players, and there'll be a new style too, won't there? Very possession-based style, and he's going to be pretty rooted to it. I like the signing of Pedro Neto. That could be a really good signing if fit. I don't know how that all works though with Pedro Neto and Cole Palmer.
Stop trying to figure Chelsea out. It's not worth it.
Yeah, but maybe Maresco will figure them out. I quite like the signing of Dewsbury Hall as well. I think that's quite a good signing. I think he's somebody with lots of Premier League experience I think he found himself a little bit last season. I know he was playing in the Championship, but I think he sort of showed himself to be more than that hard-working, industrious Premier League midfielder. I think he might surprise a few new people. City, obviously the champions, but no new bigger rivals. Edison and Kevin De Bruyne are still there, but they sold Julian Alvarez. I don't know if that adds more pressure to Erling Haaland. I'm not sure he'll be too fussed about that. Lots of players, or quite a few players, played in the Euro finals. They didn't play in the Community Shield. Rodri might be missing as well. And Palmer, as I mentioned, he's always going to be bang up for this fixture. I'm going to go for the Desmond here. I'm going Chelsea 2, Manchester City 2.
He's got Man City dropping points straight away. I love it. I, unsurprisingly, don't have Man City dropping points. And bearing in mind, look, I know Enzo Maresca's got better players at Chelsea than he had at Leicester, but that took them a while to get that kind of looking convincing, didn't it? So not only do I think Man City are going to win, I think they're going to bring the pain. I'm going to go for a big one here. Let's go Chelsea 1. Manchester City 3-4-5, 5-4-3, 3-4-5. Oh, let's be sensible. I'm going to be sensible, Mikey. 3. Chelsea 1, Man City 3. And my first 3 points from Man City this season and my boring tactic with them. Speaking of Enzo Maresca, he was at Leicester last season, and that's the Monday Night Football. Leicester v Spurs. Is Stevie Cooper there, who will have learned a lot from being at Forest in the Premier League. So I suspect we might see quite a cagey Leicester City taking on Spurs, but I think they're getting beat, Mikey, and I don't think they're scoring. Probably Spurs will huff and puff, get 1-0 up and then snatch another at the end. So I'm going to go Leicester 0, Spurs 2.
Yeah, I'm going for Tottenham to win by a 2-goal margin as well, but I'm going to go for 3-1. The big summer signing of Solanke, I think, is going to unlock a few things at the attacking end for Spurs. I think that's going to get the best out of Heung-min Son and James Maddison as well. I fancy Spurs here, although I do think that the appointment of Steve Cooper was a shrewd one for Leicester. But
agreed.
Yeah, as I said, Leicester 1, Tottenham 3.
There we go. Week 1 will be here every week. There are 2 types of people in this world, Mikey. There are people that make predictions and there are people that comment on people who make predictions. I know which one I want you to be. I want you to make some predictions. So get them in the comments. Don't take anything we say personally. It's all a little bit of fun. And we love to see your scores at the end of each round. I won't go through this every week, but because we're at the start of the season, let me just explain once more. You get 1 point for a correct outcome, home, away or draw. You get 3 points for a correct scoreline. And you get 4 if your correct scoreline contains 5 or more goals. Mikey, do I have to ask where you are this weekend? By the way, I'm working and I'm missing Ipswich versus Liverpool.
Well, I feel bad saying this, Ben. I'm also working. I am working at Portman Road for the Ipswich Liverpool game. So, yeah, I probably win this time, don't I?
That's a double dagger in the heart. Not only are you there, but you're getting paid to be there as well, which is very nice. And do check out, Mikey, give a quick plug for the documentary on TNT. I know Blue Monday fans will know about it, but the people on the Benjamin Bloom football channel won't know. You were the producer for, look, I would say it because it's Ipswich, but a really great little bit of TV previewing the season. Just give that a little quick plug.
Thank you very much, Ben. Yeah, that's PL Stories, the Ipswich Town special. So that's available on demand on Discovery Plus, Sky, and it's also up on Amazon Prime as well. So it's kind of an introduction or a reintroduction to Ipswich Town for an audience that maybe doesn't know too much about the club and the area.
There you go. So 2 birds, 1 stone. Get your predictions down. Well, you're watching Mikey's documentary, and we will see you each and every week. Get involved in the comments, and this is week 1 of Premier League score predictions.